Hello, and welcome to the Educational Fix podcast. I'm Lyle. Today's educational fix is quiet corners, something that we all love to have in our classrooms. They are such warm and inviting and soothing places to be. Sometimes you just like looking at them, and sometimes you can just like sitting in them. Quiet corners are basically areas in your classroom that are designed for quiet. They may be in or around a library section of your classroom. They can have a lot of different things that are soothing to students, like having a blanket or a small couch or a pillow there. They could also have access to books or other therapeutic materials like things that smell, things that feel good to touch, things that are musical. Perhaps there's maybe a CD player or something that they can listen to with headphones. A quiet corner is a great thing to add to your classroom so that you can help students either soothe themselves or having a soothing place to learn. And that is what a quiet corner is. You see them in all kinds of classrooms, generally not in high school, but you do see them in spaces like middle schools. You can see them in elementary schools for the most part as well. But they are a wonderful addition to any classroom, a place where you can just relax and learn or de-stress and come back to the lesson in a relaxed and meaningful way. Now, what problem does having a quiet corner fix? A quiet corner is the fix for essentially students who are in an unhappy or an unsafe feeling in their bodies. So they may be really disruptive for a little bit. They may be off task and they just need a solution. They need something that's going to help them relax. They may be really anxious about something that happened in the classroom or happened at home that they're still carrying with them. And so allowing the student to go to the quiet corner in order to read a book or perhaps do their independent practice work over there is a really good tool for any classroom. You can have the students work there even during their centers. The quiet corner could be a good place for them to have independent reading time. It's just a really good strategy for students. Even during free hours, the quiet corner can be a place for students to go to just sit and relax if they don't want to interact with their peers. And so having a quiet corner in any classroom is just a great place to solve behavioral problems. They're a great place to help students feel more at ease and more comfortable and de-stress throughout the day so that they can engage more with the curriculum, with what you're actually teaching. And they're just a relaxing place. I think even as a teacher, I enjoyed my quiet corner because it was a place where there's a rug. I like to look at it. I like to step on it sometimes. I like to be able to sit next to some books and just peruse what is available to me. Just as for students, it could be just a relaxing place visually to have for a teacher to say, hey, I have a really nice environment. And that's the same feeling that your students are going to get. Having a nice environment makes them feel better about learning and being in your classroom. Now, how is a quiet corner implemented? So what I would suggest for anyone who's doing a quiet corner is to get your staple materials. You can get a rug. That's really nice for a quiet corner. Pillows. You might have a blanket in case someone needs to lay down or is cold or needs to relax. You might also have something where they can listen to music. You might also have sensory materials like things that they can hold or squeeze, like a stuffed animal or some kind of manipulative. Things that they can pull apart and put back together, like stress or therapy or a stress ball. That's another good thing. Quiet corners are also really effective to have near or around a library area of the classroom. So if you have places in the classroom where there are books, you can put your quiet corner there. And that's a really good place to have that quiet corner. That's how you set it up, but the way you actually utilize the quiet corner is going to be different for every classroom. So sometimes it evolves. Sometimes you're only going to use it when students need to de-stress. Sometimes it's only for centers. Sometimes there's a new novel way that your students came up with that they want to use the quiet corner for. And it can evolve. But that's the magic and beauty of a quiet corner in your classroom. I will also mention that when you're using your quiet corner, it's very, very important to make sure the quiet corner is not a crutch for your students. You don't want students choosing to go to the quiet corner when they want to avoid instruction. The quiet corner should be a privilege to students who are doing the right thing, and it should be a tool to help students engage more in their learning. So when I suggest teachers use a quiet corner, I always want them to remember that the quiet corner should not be an alternative to instruction, and it really shouldn't be something that they're incentivized to do. So if they're in the quiet corner, they need to know that in order for them to feel more relaxed, especially if they're using it during instruction, they're going to be missing out on something really important and really engaging and really fun for them. So they may be missing out on an activity during full group instruction. You can't just sit there and do all of your work, because a lot of students will go to a quiet corner and they'll say, oh, this is the only place I like to work. And then they go back there and they actually do less work than if they were in their actual chairs, even though they're quiet. And so you always want to discourage that as much as possible. So giving them a time limit to the quiet corner is really important for some students. Or just making sure that it's not even though it's comfortable, it's kind of boring eventually. And they're going to want to come back to their lesson because they're missing out on fun activities. You're not calling on them in the quiet corner. If they want to engage, they're going to have to come back to where the rest of the students are all learning together, especially if they're asking to use the quiet corner during instruction. And just making generally the quiet corner a place for this is a specific purpose, this is a specific time to do whatever it is I need to utilize the quiet corner for. The only time it should be a really fun place is when it's a free choice time and the students can choose to sit or work anywhere that they want. But if it's ever being utilized, especially as a behavior management tool, I would make sure that you're not incentivizing students to misbehave to go there, because they can stay there as long as they want and you're not going to really check if they're doing their work back there. So I would have a time limit, and I would also keep the students accountable for whatever deliverables they had in the classroom. So you can say, hey, you can go to the quiet corner if that makes you feel more safe right now, but you're still responsible for the delivery of whatever activity. And sometimes students will go there, realize that they're not working as fast or as quickly, and then say, okay, I'm ready to go back to my desk now because I'm not getting anything done back here. And so it served its purpose. So I always encourage teachers to make sure that quiet corner is not a replacement for really highly engaged, focused work at their desk. And it should not be, especially during instruction, a place that they have the freedom to go to whenever they want. It should always be something that they ask to do, especially if it's during instruction, but should be a place for a specific purpose and not just an alternative to sitting in a beanbag chair instead of sitting at an actual desk. So quiet corners are really fun. It's usually a fun project for teachers to put together as well. And I hope you implement quiet corners today. Thank you for watching the Educational Fix podcast. I hope that you use this fix in your classroom today. If you're interested, please check out my books for Thriving Special Education, and I hope to see you soon.